Assessing risk and managing risk within your organisation is one of the most strategic activities that you can do. It is very important, and today I'm going to introduce you to a risk matrix and show you how that can be applied to help you give a very objective assessment of risk. And when I say objective, I mean that a level of risk can be assessed by anyone within the organisation, and generally you'll come up with that same result. So risk management, and I'll drop over into our matrix that I refer to. So the document that we're looking at here, it's defined risk by the two factors that make it up. There's likelihood of the risk occurring and the consequence of that risk occurring. And the way that we've worked in the table here, if we get the likelihood and multiply it by the consequence, we're going to end up with the risk. And in here, we've got the levels of likelihood of the thing likely occurring, 1 to 5, and a 1 to 5 with consequence. When we multiply these out, we're ending up with a number. And that number, if we look down further, that number is now assigned a colour. So with this table, we can now measure risk because we've allocated a number to it. Across to the left-hand side, you'll see, and along the top, are the different categories that we're going to assess risk within our organisation today. This is not a definitive list. You can expand this right out, or you can contract it down. It's tailored specifically. It can be tailored specifically for your organisation. But for the sake of the exercise today, I'm simply going to go through these few areas, and I'm just going to try and hopefully paint the picture so you can go and apply this in your organisation. So this whole area is to do with how, or the different categories of consequence. Whereas down along here, we're looking at the different categories of likelihood. We've got very low, low, moderate, high, and very high, and as we do up in the consequence area. So if we look across here, and for example, we'll use quality. I'm sure quality of service, quality of product is something that's applicable for everyone, as is reputation, and I'm sure workplace health and safety, all of those sorts of things. Most of these will be applicable for everyone, but as I say, it can be expanded upon. So with quality, on our very low consequence rating, we are looking at a defect that has occurred. It's been captured by our internal team, so it hasn't left the organisation, and there's no possible impact on a customer, in which case that's a very low risk. But we still need to, and may still need to manage that. It depends if that risk is if that's almost certain it's going to occur, and it's a very low consequence, it's sitting up in there at a level 5. So if we come down to the risk ratings here, we'll see it's a medium level of risk and management input is required. What's meant by that is that that's now a decision that needs to be raised to management, and then this decision is going to be based on the tolerance the organisation has towards that level of risk. So within the policy may state that activities cannot proceed or be allowed to occur if they do have that medium level of risk, in which case it would be necessary to go back and apply further mitigation measures or abatement measures or sort of management measures, whatever you want to call them, to that incident or that issue, and then come back, and you want to bring that rating here back into the green zone so that you can go ahead and proceed in accordance with the company procedures. If we go to the next level, we've got the within quality. So the defect has left the organisation, and there's a possible impact on the organisation, on the customer. And we might go across here, and the likelihood of this particular incident occurring could be very low, in which case we've ended up with a 2. So if there's a likelihood of that incident occurring that's less than 1%, but it could have a possible impact on the customer, We have assigned a level 2 in here, and we've determined that it's in the green zone, it's a low risk, and we can proceed in accordance with the procedures. And the procedures, we're hoping, are going to have enough measures in there to prevent this incident from occurring. If, however, the likelihood of this Category 2 consequence is in the moderate level, so it could be a 50-50 chance of occurring, we're going to say at this level it's sitting at 6. So it's at a moderate level of risk, and we can come back to our medium level of risk, and management input is required. Can we tolerate the 50% chance of something leaving the organisation and having a possible impact on the customer? Management decision, and we can't tolerate that level of risk, so further measures are going to go into place. This will and could require further tweaking, and it's all, as I say, it's something that needs to be refined for each organisation. But hopefully you're starting to get a little bit of a picture on how we can assess these levels of risk. Now, as you see, I've got this attached with our issues register, and I've done a different video on how to work an issues register, but we can now go and apply these ratings of risk into our issues register and go about prioritising these items so that we know now which ones are the highest risk to the organisation, and we can go about managing them in accordance with our schedule. I could go on and talk about this for all day. However, I'm sure this has given a good insight as to how to go about assessing risk in an impartial way. That is something that is very, very useful within your organisation. And if you've got any questions or any further queries about how to assess risk and how to manage risk within an organisation and how to apply systems and develop systems within your organisation so that you can manage and minimise the risk that you are facing, please click the link below or go to systemsstrategy.com.au and contact me there, or look up the references in there and see that there's more material in there to help manage risk. But I'll be more than happy to work with you, so please contact me, and I look forward to working with you in managing risk and keeping it to a minimum in the future. Thank you.